What day is it?
Wednesday!
Oh my God, I was on vacation. I mean, at least it felt that way. I was playing Jonathan's team. His Abai team is basically... Okay, come on. Oh my goodness. Thanks for waking me up, guys.
You're welcome.
Here, I'll take it from here.
Okay.
Alright, guys. Whoa. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to forget you guys. Certainly I didn't. It's just... honestly, I played Jonathan, and it really did feel like a vacation the whole time. I barely had to look at my team, and next thing you know, the vacation turned into 3, 4, 5 days, and look at me now. Anyways, welcome to the Fantasy Blitz podcast. Hey, is that you? Christian, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Hey, good to have you. Hey, I would say our first guest ever. You're broadcasting live from where?
I'm coming to you live from Sonoma, Georgia. Just on the route working.
Wow. Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us. I guess we'll start the podcast like this. Hey, man, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what's been going around the league, especially? I mean, we'll get into the trades, but hey, let's get the thoughts about your slow start. I believe 1-5 start so far.
Yeah, just the very, very underperforming defensive players specifically. My second round pick linebacker go under, out for the season. I had DeForest Buckner out for the first 4 weeks or from 2 to 6. So there's been a lot of injuries, and I've been losing by very, very small margins. So it hurts, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can make a better run going forward.
Do you want me to join you in your boo-hoo? I mean, we have everything you need here. Are you saying, and I mean this with all due respect, are we saying this because it's Halloween, or are we saying this because, I mean, because I look at some teams in the league a lot more decimated than you are, and yeah, still you only have one win. Hey, I'm not trying to be mean here, but I gotta hold you to account, you know.
Yeah, just guys underperforming and a lot of big injuries.
I will say you've been I'm not going to say you're someone that doesn't do something about it, because you've been so active on the trade. I mean, I believe Saquon Barkley just blew through your team and on its way to my team actually.
Yes.
Can you give some reasoning behind your wheeling and dealing, especially this week?
Saquon Barkley wasn't the big part of the trade that I had with Jack. It was really to bring in a big D lineman, which I got. And you seemed, hot and ready for Saquon, so I was ready to deal him to get something else in return, along with another running back to replace him.
Interesting. I mean, I gotta say, it's definitely not time to panic. You did get Tyreek Hill. The fact that he's on the Dolphins, of course, goes without saying. I hope it's a bit of a double whammy win in your corner. God knows you need something to head that way.
Right.
But as I got you for a few minutes, I thought it'd be really interesting for you to take a look at this. I don't know if you can see it or not, but on the screen we have the most rushing yards through week 5. Of course, now through week 7. Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, 2 of the top 3 with Jordan Mason before his injury squeezed between the 2 of them. But for those 2 out of the 3 to be on the commissioner's team, your thoughts?
That's great. I think Henry was a great draft pick. I think Saquon had a really, really great start to the season. But since his first 2 or 3 weeks, he hasn't been that great. So I think the stats on Saquon's part are a little inflated.
Yeah, you almost hope that Saquon doesn't get in the way of the passing. I don't know what the Eagles are doing. Traditionally, it's always been the other way around. The running will open up the passing. But again, the NFL is weird in so many ways that it's just another example of some of these running backs that have been used even in the past, not that long ago, traditionally like Saquon in New York. All of a sudden now, you almost get him like a little bit of a DeAndre Swift sort of package over there, where they may or may not use him, and you wonder if that's to their benefit or not. it's another story. But as I look through this last week that just finished, I will say to you, I have this up on the screen. I know you can't see it. You will see it on the podcast. But what it says is you can't win physically if you're losing mentally. And again, not trying to put you out there, but I was wondering if, since I had this vision of your face when I saw this, I'm wondering if that could be probably a little bit of what's going on lately with your team. You just lost by a little, one of the smallest margins of the whole league, of the whole year. Your thoughts on this? Maybe you're losing mentally?
I don't know what you mean by that. Would you care to elaborate a little bit?
Well, I feel like maybe something about you might be double guessing yourself, the way you set your lineup, when you set your lineup, pulling the trigger a little early on certain people, maybe not taking risks, Dolphins, etc.
No, I think I made trades to make my team better. I was heavy at the defensive back spot. There was another player in the league, or another manager in the league, Jack, who needed one. And I was able to get a lineman out of that I didn't have. And then from you, I was able to get a running back in replacement of Saquon, with also Nick Chubb coming back as another running back that I didn't have to lose anything to grab. And then Tyreek Hill with one more week without Tua, and we all know what he does with Tua. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming weeks.
And did I hear correctly? You have Nick Chubb?
Yes, his first game is this weekend.
Wow, and what I was going to say to you is, you might want to think about possibly shopping him. I heard that from a lot of people that he's getting ready to get right behind a decimated offensive line in Cleveland that's just not working for anybody. Right now on the screen, I got this meme of Deshaun Watson, 0-26 on his last 26 third downs. Jonathan, he started him against me when I was on vacation, when I was on bye. When you see moves like this, and again, we're not talking about Jonathan behind his back. I hope you're not. I know I'm not. But it needs to be said. What would you say about somebody who starts Deshaun Watson almost like it was 4 or 5 years ago?
Honestly, what I have to say about Deshaun Watson is that I think his season is only going to go up from here. Wow. He is getting his run game back. The defenses aren't going to be so heavily focused on the passing game because they do have to look out for Nick Chubb now. So I say to Jonathan, hold on to Deshaun Watson. I think there's better times coming for him.
I would say I was thinking like that at the beginning of the year, but I saw enough to me where I think makes sense that they're starting to unload some pieces. You saw it happen with Amari Cooper now. All of a sudden, people are thinking Judy is going to rise in stock, and I just think it's happening on one of these teams where it's just the problem is at the root core of the whole organization. It's just all spoiled rotten. You're not going to be adding by subtracting in Cleveland, unfortunately. Now, on the flip side of that, you see certain things like what's going on in Oakland, in Las Vegas, where now, what are your thoughts on Jacoby Myers and what he might be able to do over there as a number one, all of a sudden with Devontae out of there?
Yeah, I think it'll be a 1A, 1B type situation in Vegas with Brock Bowers, the rookie tight end, and also Jacoby Myers. But yeah, I think it's going to open the game for them. I think they're going to get a lot more targets.
And you immediately feel that when you think of the Las Vegas Raiders now, but you don't get that feeling when you talk about the Browns. You just see and again, it's too bad for Deshaun Watson because a lot of it's really he's running for his life back there, and. You're trying to figure things out. You can't get a feel for your receivers. Every year is a new team for you because of the way the NFL is these days, and you're not even able to be comfortable enough to. It's not like it is in practice. It's not happening in the games like it is for practice because they're coming to get you for real, and you see that kind of panic. Anyways, I gotta say to you, it's crunch time. I think it's now this week. If there's no win, I would say it's time for the panic button. And if you do get a win under your belt this time, I think it's going to make the trades you just made, it's going to even that much more solid, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think if you correct me if I'm wrong, you may know this better than me, but I think there's 3 teams sitting at 3-3.
Right now in the league.
in the league?
I can tell you right now. Let me take a look real quick.
I want to say David 6-0. You're 4-2.
Well, I'll look at the sleeper app. Give me
I
one
want to say
second.
Jack.
Yeah.
Ortiz.
So looking at the league, yeah, right now, no, right now, yeah, there is actually. You're right. So it's 6-0 with Get Off My Dicka. Raging Adventures, myself 4-2, and then 4-2 Gamer Seth at third place, and then Jack at 3-3, D Boys 3-3, and then Miami Maggots Ortiz at 3-3, and then it drops off significantly to 1-5, and then of course Jonathan, that's yet to win.
Yeah, I think a win is necessary this week, but I think once I get that win, it's going to be a lot closer run in the second half of the season than most think right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's early enough where things can still happen. It's starting to get to a point now where if the wins don't come, then a lot of it's going to be out of your hands anyways. You don't want to go into the second half like that. But again, I think you got a favorable matchup. I would have to say this week as you match up against against Seth. And as I'm looking at it, he's projected to beat you again by a lot of points. And I think that's where, if moving forward, if you're going to be pulling the trigger, I would just solely look at the points right now. Styles out the window, game plans out the window, narratives out the window, points, whatever you have to do.
I have a linebacker in Buffalo that I want to say for the past 4 weeks has averaged probably 35 plus points at the linebacker position. Week after week, sleeper gives him 0 projected, which I don't understand, but that affects the predictions.
It does. It does.
I know what I have on my team and what they're really projected.
There you go, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, right? No one else is gonna feel that way about your team, So it better be you. Well, there you have it. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're in the middle of your route, so I gotta say. We'll get better at this interview stuff, but moving forward, I think there's only one way for you to go. Up, can't go any more down, except for Jonathan's there waiting for you. And I believe that you still have what it takes to get yourself out of there. But it's going to be a tall road, for sure.
Thank you for having me. And also I want to say, I think week to week you should get somebody new doing these short little interviews to make the podcast a little bit more interesting. Yeah,
now that I'm figuring it out a little bit more, I think it'll be even better. Do a little bit of feature interviews, a little more trash talk opportunities, whatever we can do to get it going. And real quick, before you go, can you tell us what you think about tonight's game between the Chiefs and the 49ers?
Tonight's game?
I'm sorry, without that game on Sunday. Sorry. Well, there, I put it out there. So who's winning tonight, the Broncos or Saints?
It's going to be a close one. I know the Broncos don't have Pat Surtain, but the Saints don't have Derek Carr. And then again, it's the Dome, so I think I'm gonna go Saints. I think I'm gonna go Saints at home.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I don't have enough confidence in anything that's going on from Mr. Nix over there. So basically, I'm playing any defense that's playing the Broncos. That's who I stream every week now. It's been working for me. So yeah, definitely Saints at home. I got them going. So all right. Hey, maybe we'll keep a little record here. This will be the first one of the podcast. Let's see if what we go with. Do a little pick'ems over here. So all right, man. So I'll continue on with the podcast. You continue on with your route, and I'll see you next time here on the Blitz Fantasy Podcast.
Love it. Talk to you later.
All right, talk to you later. And there you have it, folks. I think it's a beautiful thing when you're able to figure out some of the ways we can make this a little more interactive. But yeah, I mean, I think looking at the pictures that I downloaded today, I would like to thank Jack. You know, you gave Barkley to Christian for exactly 15 minutes, and then I was able to come in, and now I feel like I have to put it out there. And you know, talking on the phone right now with Christian, talking about the league, I think it's I'm no longer on vacation. Obviously, I'm not playing Jonathan anymore. You know, so now I'm the boss. And I have to say, very few are the times, because I've always been making the mistakes of giving away too much. I want to trade so badly. You can ask Davey, he always laughs at me. I always blow up my team. But in this case, with what I was able to do, acquiring Saquon Barkley, the way I was, it's just an absolute beautiful thing that I feel is going to totally put me over the top when it comes to competing against the clowns in this league. And you know who you are. Next, I want to talk about a very interesting term that came across my desk this week, where more than one person in the league has been calling this, what you see up here on the screen, to the first place team, to David's team, to Get Off My Dick. His team is being referred to as a fake team. Some of it obviously has to do with the standings and him having the lowest points scored against, which I can see how some people can look at that and they can say, hey, it's true. Right here, if I can zoom in, points total for David, 3,191. Points again, 2,795. And I wanted to take it only here to do that kind of a close-up look at it. And I have to say, there is validity. There is validity to the feeling. I'm not going to name names. I could never disclose sources. But yes, if the first place team is receiving the less amount of resistance on a week-to-week basis, it most definitely does call into question and maybe even to the forefront the whole idea of a paper tiger. For those of you that aren't familiar with that term, it's basically a threat that really can't hurt you. And I found it very interesting when I heard people talking about this, because when you look at Get Off My Dick, this guy has been undefeated 6-0 on a heck of a tear from last year. So I don't have the numbers with me, unfortunately, but you're talking about not losing at least 2 times around the whole league, getting ready to do it for a second time, or at least get started with the second time around everyone, just going through this league, and yet and still people are talking about him in this manner. It's really disappointing, and it just tells you a little bit about where we're at. But the next thing we're going to talk about is Jonathan, way at the bottom. And reports came in. I don't know if I'm not going to say it's not him, but I did get this, came across my desk, and someone told me that this is a familiar pose that Jonathan's team, and I'm going to be very careful, not Ortiz, but the last place never won a game yet, that this is indeed how you watch the games on Sunday, because of the feeling that you get from your opponent. I want to say to you that although this is striking, that when I saw this I was like, whoa, this is too much. I want to say honestly that I actually respect the way you just put that out there, and I want to say that it's absolutely commendable that you're that brave. I did talk to David about this, and this is indeed what he responded back. I actually told him about, hey, look, I got this picture about how Jonathan watches games on Sundays, how it sinks in with what's going on with the points. And David stayed like this for a good 25 minutes. I could not get him to not look like that. So a little concerning, yes, but I think it speaks volumes to exactly the feeling about us finding out information like that. As we move on, I will say that positive news around the league trophy came in. There's David doing a piss poor job of actually showing the trophy in all its glory. But what can we do? What can we say? And that being said, we're looking now at breaking news pictures of Tua showing back to practice, and I wanted this to show up on the screen right now as I get ready to address Christian's team once more, because if Tua shows up like this to practice for the Dolphins, that will be best case scenario. I just want to say that. Because when I look at this picture of Tua, we all know it's Cuba Gooding Jr. from radio, but it's indeed intended to be Tua, and we know why. But when I see this picture, I hope to God, I'm going to say it, that Tua looks this good and this strong and this alert. Because I expect less, I'm going to tell you right now, which is why I gave you Tyreek, because I know that that's who's going to be throwing him the ball. And I think that you need to know this and maybe take that Tyreek trade and get it out of your team as fast as you got Saquon out of your team. It might be the ticket out. It might be the ticket out. And I'm going to leave it at that. As we said before, look, David, this is pretty much just the quintessential picture of your team this year. Doesn't matter how amazing the players. I mean, this Hutchinson guy, that was it. That was your T.J. Watt. That's it. If you have, I don't want to say Patrick Mahomes because he's not scoring anything, but that's it. But as far as defense goes, that was the guy. That was the dude. So you cannot tell me that this is going to happen to your team and that you're just going to keep coasting through. I see some major holes in your defense and your team. I hear we talked about the rumors of what people are actually saying. And I think that this picture right here, look at it really closely. I think that picture right there is going to speak volumes when it comes to how your team's going to be doing come 3-4 weeks from now. When we talk about Jack, I mean, look, you see a pattern here. I see Jack doing that, right? Here's Jack again. Look at you can say he's monkeying around. He doesn't realize this, but Jack, most of what we do is subconscious, and right there and then you're resorting to almost 8-man-like ways in terms of your understanding, your basic understanding of what's happening to you and your team this year in fantasy football. It's a Freudian slip. You can see that David's on the call there. I'm on the call there. You didn't realize this, but as you did that, you were kind of resorting back to almost like a very primitive version of Homo sapiens saying, how do I get out of this mess? And I'm here to tell you that there really is there's no shortcut. We're going to have to just hang in there, bud, and get you to not hate football. And that's my goal with you is I don't want you to hate football. Okay? I'm not even worried about first place, second playoffs. No. If there's a way I can get you in the playoffs so you don't quit, I'll do it. But I know this kind of luck. I see it in your face. I see it in your struggle. And I just want you to know that you're not alone when it comes to that. The trade proposals, went crazy. As you can see on the board, there was Bowers on the board and Jones for Barkley, Komet, Landry. Those didn't go through. But quite indeed, the trades did go through. We saw Barkley going to the commissioner's team in a blockbuster trade that sent Tyreek to Christian's team, and also Aaron Jones also went as part of the package with Tyreek Hill, and the commissioner did indeed receive. Let's see, who did I get in that? Waddle. So we'll see how that trade goes out, but it's good to see people wheeling and dealing as we move forward. Obviously, right now, the way it shows up, get off my dick in first place, 6-0. Myself in second place, scoring many points at the 4-2 in second. Then Gamer Seth, Jack, Dan, Ortiz, and then the difference between 6th place and 7th place is a 2-game drop off. Laporta Potty. Hey, I've always said it. Change your team name. Change your team name. You cannot have a team name that is poop and think that you're going to do well. I keep saying it, and you guys don't listen. We have, and then of course, Jonathan down here bye week. Put me in the bye state. Now I got to work a little bit harder to get back into it, but thankfully I am. I think I just got woken up by this podcast. Thank goodness. Look. This weekend, I'm going to be camping, but I'm going to be checking my phone. I'm going to be doing what I can to stay in the loop. This is the game right here that matters, and we're going to go with these guys. These guys are going to kill these guys. I think that Kansas City is going to be exposed. For now, that's all I got. I want to thank you for tuning in to another podcast. It was kind of done a little hastily. I had a lot going on this week, but it's always a pleasure. Keep footballing, and we'll be in touch. This has been a great time making this for you. Remember, I am the boss. You look at me, Seth. Read this. I'm the boss, okay? And we'll talk to you soon. Later.